By the end of this video, you will know why the next 2 weeks are so important for us as altcoin buyers and how it's going to be a truly once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get really stupid rich. You will also know the time horizons when I think it'll be a good time to buy altcoins and what altcoins I'm eyeing off right now. So make sure you are subscribed with that bell on right now. Hit a like on this video if you do learn something new. Had you hit that bell button a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I would have told you guys I was waiting for a potential clear direction to be moved in the market with that election. We did get that, and I did get my entry levels because of that quite low. And you, of course, would have known about that if you had hit that bell button as well. Now, it's insane to me that a lot of people aren't looking to optimize their overall gains and knuckle down for the next 12 months. I personally am, at least yesterday. I got over a 5x on my XRP long here. Guys, it's a bull run with the right guidance. In our trading group down below, I'll leave the links down there. You'll be able to unlock everything I'm personally doing as well as our experienced traders. I'm not even a good trader myself. I'm just listening to our experts in this group, following their lead, and I'm making some good money. At this point, I'm making an average of about 4 to 5 multiples every single day, at least by trading. I'm just topping up my bags like no tomorrow. I'm going to make so much money this bull run, and I want you guys to be a part of the journey. And even being in this group, I think I've said this a million times right now, but you need to know. Every single month you're in one of our groups, you get a ticket. At the end of the bull run, we're drawing out here 2 winners are going to win $10,000 each. So while you're making money, you're going to make more money potentially in the future. So you know what blows my mind? Most people don't realize how large this altcoin rally really is going to be. And what we've seen so far has been like a little nibble, little taste test, if you will, like a cheese platter in terms of what is about to come. We're going to have a massive king's banquet. We just haven't even tasted a tenth of that yet. How do I know that? Well, where we are right now, guys, at a $250 billion altcoin market cap, we are well off the previous cycle's high of about almost 2x, 92% off. Okay, we're at 250 billion right now. This over here was just under 500 billion. As a matter of fact, if I come back to the previous all-time high in 2018 to this all-time high, we went up 530%, which is over a 6x. But it gets better, because if we actually have a look, and you guys have followed the channel here for a while, you would have seen that I kind of broke down where we could possibly go in terms of Bitcoin's price and therefore work that back mathematically to figure out where the global market cap could go to. And what I came to realize is we're probably going to go between $8 to $10 trillion. Now, if we do, as you can see here, we're going to likely experience anywhere from about $1 to $1.5 trillion invested in just altcoins alone. And what this means is if we kind of go from the current market cap of altcoins and we zoom out, and we go to $1 trillion, that's going to be, roughly speaking, about 287% from where we are right now. Why is that important to assess? Well, because each crypto market cycle has diminishing returns. This is important because last cycle we had about a 6x growth. This cycle, it's going to be just under a 4x growth. Therefore, this would be in the realm of possibility. Again, $8 trillion market cap would roughly put us at about 1 trillion market cap for alts. Now, if we go to about 1.5 trillion and bring it up all the way over to about here, that's 487%, which is still less than that previous cycle. So all I'm saying here is, guys, 8 to 10 trillion global market cap is definitely possible. And what that means for our altcoins is we're going to experience an ungodly amount of returns yet. Again, we're down here. We could be possibly experiencing, I don't want to zoom out at this point, we could be experiencing all of this, okay? So imagine what your favorite altcoins could possibly be doing. If you then pair this with the fact that this is the first bull run, we are going insane in terms of the M2 money supply. Global liquidity is at all-time highs since way back in the early 2000s for the dot-com boom. Could this be the dot-com boom because institutions are now involved with this stuff like they were back here? I mean, things are stacking up like never before for a crypto bull run, at least. We also over here have Alex Jones with Max Kaiser, Bitcoin Maxi, talking about how governments around the world are likely going to be incorporating Bitcoin into their reserves. Now the US government is flirting with this idea as well. I mean, this could just blow up into levels we've never seen before. Not only that, of course, but Donald Trump, president-elect over here, has given Vivek and Elon the lead role in this new government department, I believe, Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, literally calling it DOGE, all right? Now, he posted this only about an hour or two ago, right? So what would you say to do here, all right? What do you think this is going to do for altcoins, especially you meme coin holders out there? Again, right, Coinbase's app is a good telltale sign of when the retail money really, truly is FOMOing. And right now, the app isn't even in the top 100, I do believe. Asset manager Alliance Bernstein tells every single one of their investors to get into Bitcoin ASAP. I think these guys had about a 250K price prediction for Bitcoin this cycle. And the piece of resistance, if you will, okay, we have a 50 score right now, 53 score over here on Google Trends. Okay, but so why is this all important for the next 2 weeks, guys? Well, this is where the next few charts are going to come in handy, okay? And again, stay tuned for the end because I want to give you my altcoin picks I'm looking at right now. A couple of weeks ago, you would have seen me talk about the MVRV Z Score here, and that every single cycle, we have a run in the middle of the cycle, right? So from top to top, in the middle of this, we have a sort of like a mid-cycle rally, if you will. Every single time this mid-cycle rally hits, we have a breach of the 2 score on this particular chart, this index. Now you can see over here back in 2016, we hit this once, we came back down, and the next time we breached the 2 score, it was the beginning of the bull run, the beginning of the end, if you will. Now back in 2019 / the last cycle, we had a run up to a score of 2. Back down, the next time we hit the score of 2, we went up. Now again, in this cycle, this mid-cycle peak, we had the score of 2 breach, come back down, and then we breached the score again. And we're likely not going to go beneath 2 again. And if we are, it's going to be very, very briefly before we finally go up again for the massive push. But we've broken through this so confidently, I think from here we see something like this occur, okay? So that's what I'm waiting for. The MVRV Z Score is a great way to gauge the top of the cycles. It has been correct every single time. And I'm personally using this. If you're subscribed, then you'll be able to have the inside scoop to gauge, as well as many other indicators, when the top could possibly be so we can get the hell out in the safest possible way, right? Maximizing returns in the safest way is our motto on the No BS channel. We also had a look at the Pi Cycle Top indicator, another indicator that's been right way more than has been wrong. And again, we have kind of gone into an expansion phase, contraction, and then expansion where we are right now. And I believe given the next few months, in time, we will go into a contraction again. And every single time we go from expansion back into a contraction after the mid-cycle pump, we do have the top kind of being signaled like this. These 2 lines here kind of contract until they eventually meet, calling the top. So that is coming, and that's happened every single cycle. So again, this is very good for us because we are in expansion right now, giving me confidence. The bull run's got so much more time to still go on. Also, the Huddle Waves. Notice here the Huddle Waves show that the long-time holders of Bitcoin in this darkish green color here are actually still accumulating, which is very good. These guys normally sell off extremely, okay, when the tops are getting very close, you can see here. But most importantly, the red colors here, which are retail, right, short-term holders, these guys begin buying exponentially at the time of the tops. You can see here when these do spike. And again, we aren't seeing retail FOMO in right now, and we aren't seeing whales begin selling off just yet. Lastly, guys, we are flirting with Bitcoin season still, right? Alt season is when we're going to experience these massive returns I spoke about earlier. We aren't even there yet. So all this hype and buzz around our favorite altcoins going up and up and up in price, which they all are, which is great. Okay, at least the large caps are, because the money hasn't moved down just yet, as I'll soon show you. Our large caps are having a nice day in the sun. They're relaxing, they're having a pina colada, maybe a banana split, and they're enjoying life. But guess what? That isn't even a tenth of what we're about to experience. So yes, for all those guys saying that some of these price predictions on these big coins are outlandish, I want you to hold my beer until the end of the bull run, all right? But don't get too greedy, okay? We'll be realistic with these things. Now, the last thing I'll show you before diving into the really meat and potatoes of it all is Income Sharks mentioned this very important tweet a couple of weeks ago where he said that the most important time to be risk on, therefore in the market, is between election day, which we've just had, and inauguration day. Okay, so this period here is when we can see gains go up substantially, and this is where we are right now. Okay, this was back over here in 2017/2018 cycle, and this was the last cycle. You can see the same thing occurred. So we're in here right now. We've had a little taste of what is to come. So as you may know, being subscribed here, guys, it's so important that you are on top of dominance, right? So Bitcoin dominance versus Ethereum and altcoins. And the reason why this is important, as you may have seen many times on crypto YouTube, is that when you look at this, it looks kind of like a waterfall effect or a flow-on effect. Okay, I call it the altcoin money flow effect, where again, money flows down the line, but it must flow into Bitcoin first, like we're seeing right now. And the reason is because Bitcoin must encourage the average person who's walking down the street that doesn't know about Bitcoin to get FOMO to buy Bitcoin. It needs to be in the headlines first. No altcoin is ever in the headlines apart from Ethereum, but that's a different story. You see Bitcoin going, and then you go, wow, I want to get even more gains. So you think about Ethereum, or maybe go straight to large caps. What is about to come is the pump from large caps into your small caps, where large caps will pop off. For example, SUI pops off and everyone goes, well, hey, SUI is up 300% on the week. What about the SUI ecosystem? And then you'll find all the SUI coins pumping because that is the next step. That is the narrative pump. So all this to say, we haven't had that just yet. That hasn't even been activated yet. Bitcoin's just been flirting with altcoins and large caps. What we're waiting for here is Bitcoin to sort of enter a rejection zone. You can see here around 60 to 65% dominance. And then we need to see its dominance fall down. By the way, when its dominance falls, its market cap will still go up. Its still price will increase, but it yields the main gains to altcoins. So then from there, alts will of course go up. But right now we haven't seen that, okay? We saw recently alts push up about 12.5%. I think this was mainly because of the rate cut, okay? We did see over here 50 basis points in September that did push Bitcoin down over a 12-day period. And then we saw it kind of move up over about 37 days until it again had the next rate cut, which it fell down in much shorter fashion, I believe, because the market's way too bullish right now. And then we, of course, have seen it recover substantially. Right now, it's sitting at about almost 61%. When altcoins eventually touch this zone over here around this 15% level, we can expect the small cap / micro cap mania to begin, where money will just flow into those small cap coins because this will usually be at the same time Bitcoin ends up being down here. And when Bitcoin is down here, it usually is the market top, which is around 45 to 50% market dominance. And I'll tell you why my benchmark for where the dominance might fall has increased from 40% in just a moment. So Ben himself says, I think dominance should top Q4 of 2024 or mid-January 2025 at the latest. Historically, dominance does go up in December of the halving year. So we could expect Bitcoin again to continue going up here for quite a while. Okay, we could see it again in this range, which would be a very clear sign to me that it's only a matter of time before altcoins go up. But if you ask me, I think we have maximum 36 days, which would put us around mid-December for this to happen, which in my opinion does mean that if we were here right now, okay, in the next give or take 30 to 40 days max, we will have the beginning of this massive altcoin rally, where of course we're going to see some insane gains up to possibly $1.5 trillion in just our favorite altcoins alone. So yes, in this interim, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that this is what we need to be focusing on to buy, all right? This is risk on. This is the most important part of the cycle because this hasn't happened yet. You are not late. You are very much so early. Yes, we didn't buy prices down here if you're entering right now, but if you allocate correctly, if you sit and you're patient, you're not trying to chase the dragon and chase the pumps will come to you. So what I find quite interesting is that on the last rate cut, Bitcoin fell 2.6%. On the recent rate cut, it fell 3.2%. Now, in the interim, okay, it gained 6%. So if we kind of get a rough gauge here and go, okay, well, it's fallen the same amount every time. What if it gains the same amount from the higher low at that rough 6% again? Well, that would put us at about 62% market dominance, which would fall in range, I think, to where it could possibly go to. Now, alts are much the same as well, guys. They gained 4.2% in the September rate cut. They then fell when Bitcoin was gaining. They fell 6.6%. They recently gained 4.2% on, again, the recent rate cut. So could it be fair to assume they might fall again 6.6% as Bitcoin goes up roughly 6%, which would put them at about 7.93%. Now, why is this an important range to have a look at? Because this is underneath what I deem to be a good altcoin buy zone, falling down to roughly in this range, which would be, possibly speaking, about 40 days, okay? So about a month and a half, or roughly speaking, a month, I could see this possibly happening. Before, of course, the final and eventual push to the upside, where we see it eventually go into this small / micro cap mania phase, and all the while Bitcoin loses dominance, touching the magic, roughly speaking again, 45 to 50% level. Now, why I say 45 to 50% is because in 2018, we touched around about 35%. You can see down here in the previous cycle, we hit about 40%. And then over here, 42.5%, I could see on this trend line going around, or again, in this rough red range. But again, it could even go as high as 50%. I don't really know for sure. We'll have to see as time progresses. We have so many more things that Bitcoin has to offer, like the ETFs, that will probably prevent it from losing too much dominance. So all that being said, what altcoins am I looking at on this in these next 2 weeks here? Again, in this particular time, we might have altcoins lose some dominance dominance and Bitcoin gain dominance. Or more importantly, I think we just have to say to ourselves, look, Bitcoin might go up, alts will go up with it. Alts aren't just going to die off. They will gain and they will go up in price, but their gains will be somewhat suppressed as to what will come over the next maybe 6 to 12 months. So what I'm looking at here is altcoins that are large caps, because these haven't really seen the true pumps just yet, particularly AI altcoins right now. I'll be looking to pick up some more FET. Some Render has recently pumped, so I'd be very careful buying Render right now. I think anything under $5 is a steal. I think Pith is a good buy right now, and so is Beam. Aerodrome, I think under $1.25 is still a very good price indeed, and the rest goes on from there. Now, again, AI altcoins saw a massive dip. They went from about 42 billion market cap down to 37 billion. They saw the biggest hit overall, so I'd be looking at things like Near Protocol, Potenza, Render, again, Fetch or ASI, and go down the list. I am personally wanting to buy Ondo though. I was almost going to buy at 90 cents and I thought to myself, no, I'm purely buying based on FOMO. I'm going to wait for things to cool down, because we went from like 70K Bitcoin to like 90K Bitcoin. Things were going to cool down eventually. And so if we zoom in over here, I think we're going into a very good buy zone. Back into 70 cents or under 80 cents, should I say. It definitely will lower my average buy-in price. And I have a whole bunch of bullish stuff still to come out about Ondo as well. So I think the coin's going to do fantastic. At least I'm hedging into that as well. So guys, that is what's happening over the next few weeks here. I think we are about to see a massive altcoin rally, unlike we've ever seen before. And truly, I'm mostly in right now. I'm hedging my bets, right? And I hope you guys make an educated decision yourself. Speak to a financial advisor. And with that being said, talk to you soon. Take good care. Bye-bye.